Hi, everybody! Today for Fairy Tales, we're going to see how I draw Cinderella. Just so you know, there's a coloring book that you can get through Amazon. Just follow the link in my description, and you can get a coloring book to show me how you color to how I draw. Okay, pencils first, and then Sharpies. So, if you want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description, and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Okay, explanation time. So, this is not Disney Cinderella, so that's why it looks a little different. This is the fairy tale, the folklore, the Grimm fairy tale, of the original story. Well, I say the original story, but it's not even the original. Like, even the Brothers Grimm borrowed a bit and took it from folklore kind of thing. But I want to say the idea, but it's not even the idea, right? It's the... I don't know why I'm trying to explain it, but... So, in other words, let's just say we're doing Grimm's fairy tale. I'm borrowing from other stuff too, but for the most part, the Grimm's fairy tale. That's what we're doing. But anyway, so it's fascinating. I was doing the research and I was looking it up, and it's crazy how the Western culture, i.e. Disney, has changed up the story to there was no glass slipper, there was no fairy godmother. But I think in the research too that there might have been in other storylines, like, so they didn't make up the fairy godmother, but like different versions might have had a fairy godmother. But in the Grimm fairy tale, there's not. It is the magic of her mother who's passed away. And the birds and those things are kind of there, to a point. Like, okay, it's a little gruesome, and what I mean by that is, like, even. Well, I'll just tell you the story. So, in the story, in the original, there are some birds that do bring her things and stuff like that, like the dress and stuff like that. But in the end, the sisters, when they're trying to make their feet, when they want to fit into the shoe, which is a slipper, not a glass slipper, it's just a regular slipper. I think they say it's a golden slipper, but I'm pretty sure it's not made out of gold. Anyway, trying to make their feet in, they cut off their toe, they cut off their heel to try to fit into it. So like I said, it's pretty gory, pretty crazy, but I mean, that's the times, that's what the stories they told. And then in the end, the sisters try to they say, gain favor, but they just try to be on Cinderella's side in the end, and the birds peck their eyes out. It's crazy that's natural storytelling back then. It's like, yep, kids, this is what happens. But I guess originally the Grimm's fairy tales weren't really like for kids, right? I don't think they intentionally said, let's do this stuff for kids. I think that's just the stories became children's tales, right? I don't know. That's what it feels like to me. I'm gonna make this hand a little bit smaller real quick. I got kind of big. Sometimes I get big with the hands because I get excited and I just go crazy. So yeah, so that's all I can really say about it, is that just, it was pretty gruesome. And so I'm making this up 100%. I'm not going by a what do you call it? A Disney Cinderella. I'm going by, let's just make up a Cinderella, what she might look like, what she might dress like, and go from there. I think I need to sharpen my pencil because it's very dull right now. There we go, a little bit smaller. That's funny. There's birds outside the window. I got the window open, and there's birds chirping out there. Singing me Cinderella songs and bringing me dresses. So yeah, so I'm making this up 100%. So I'm gonna try to do like something pretty, something flowing. But again, we're not going by Disney, you know. So you should know by the time you got here, at this point, that this is not the Disney one. And also, you should know by the time you click on the picture, right? I mean, it's in the picture. And I got her in a different stance. We're trying something a little different here. The trick is, I guess I'm going to do it with color, but they say it's a gold slipper. So, I mean, it has to be done with color, right? There's no way I can draw gold. I mean, I don't know, maybe you could with shades of black and white, but that's not what we're here to do. We're not drawing shades. We're kind of inking, right? Just solid black and white. So what I'm going for here is kind of she's almost like dancing, because that's the other part that kind of stuck with me with the story, is the ball. You know, that she was very beautiful and elegant and the dancing part, right? So I want to, let's see how I can do this. So we're gonna do a little foreshortening. No foreshortening. Maybe that is the word I'm looking for. Her hands are gonna be like this. So we're gonna kind of, we gotta draw. It's gonna look a little strange because all these. This is gonna look super stubby. This is gonna look stubby. But you know what I mean. Like that, it makes sense. But when you draw it, it looks like you're drawing short of a few fingers. So you're just gonna have to bear with me once we get there, and then we're gonna make it work. Okay? You just gotta trust me on that. And I'm also, again, making up what she looks like. I thought of maybe like her hair in braids, because I didn't want to do it up like Disney. Boy, I just don't have my words. I never have words. I don't know why I always apologize for that. You know, I always say every time, it's like, I don't have words. I'm not a speaker. Right? I'm a drawer. That's why we're here, to watch me draw, not listen to me speak. Let's see what I can do here. Now here's the other hard part, is it's getting smaller. So tiny features like the mouth and the nose and that kind of thing, sometimes they kind of disappear with the size. Like, because once we get that tiny, it's like, well, I can't draw the entire thing because of it'll bleed, right? And like I said, I think I'm just going to put her hair in braids, because I would assume she got long hair, right? I don't know why I assume that, but it just makes sense to me that she's not going to put it up. Well, I don't know why I'm explaining it. Just look, that's what I'm going to do. All right, I think I'm good with the sketch. I say we erase some of this real fast and get going. Because what I like to do is I want my Sharpie to stand out, not my pencil lines. So the first few lines I put down, those are sketch lines. I'm just trying to find a placement, you know? As I get more confident, I press harder, and those lines are darker. So when I'm lightly erasing like this, the sketch lines disappear, but the confidence lines stick around. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of our sketchiness, follow our confidence, and that's how you live your life too. Get rid of your sketchiness. Be confident and you'll go far and do amazing things. And I'll be right there watching to cheer you on. All right, so speaking of cheering on, I say we welcome everybody that skipped the ink section and get going. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because I do a different drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen, mostly the fine point, but the pen's a little finer than the fine point. You can find things that a fine point can't quite find. I've sketched the entire thing out. I've erased the majority of the sketch lines, but left myself enough to see where we're going to go. So I'm just going to, and if you want to see more fairy tales and things like that, check out that playlist there, or just check out the playlist in general, because I do so many different things. I may have already drawn what you're looking for. So I'm just going to dive right in and just draw the top of her lids, or eyelids, sorry, like this. And again, this is super tiny, so I'm limited in my detail, but I can draw the retina, the color part of the eye. Let's kind of do that. Another one in here like that, but again, see, we're so tiny I can't even draw a pupil. I can maybe try to hit the middle like that, but it's already starting to bleed, so I got to be careful. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. That being said, for the bottom of the eye, it'll bleed like one big black mush, so I'm just going to imply the bottom like that. Let it come in, kind of come towards the middle, and just do that. And that's it, because again, like I said, it'll bleed. You're welcome to draw it, but mine is already so tiny I can't do that. So I'm also going to thicken up the top part almost like an eyelash, just a little bit. Again, these Sharpies will bleed at this size, so I got to be very careful, and that's all I'm going to do. For an eyebrow, keep it simple like that. Okay, good. Again, all I can really do is the bottom of the nose, so I'm just going to kind of come in here and do this. And I want to draw the bulb and all that, but again, those are contours, not hard edges, so I'll do that with color and just limit my inking for right now. For the mouth, let's give her kind of a smile. But again, I have to be very careful. So the top lip is probably going to be all black, because I'm going to show you. I'm going to try to keep it close, but like I was talking about with the eye, it's so hard at this size. See, I try to make it hollow, but at least we can make the bottom lip nice and plump. We can do that. That'll give us a little bit of color, right? There we go. I'm happy with that. Let's draw her chin right about here. And if you want to know why she looks like this, go check out the sketch part. I talked about the entire thing there. Okay, so I'm going to draw her jaw like this. Another one over here like this. And I'm going to start to thicken this up just a little bit too, because when I switch over to this Sharpie, you're going to see a huge difference in line width. So I'm trying to make up for that, the way where it's going to go. Okay, so there's her cheekbone. Come up and draw this one. Plus, sometimes thickening up lines like this, it helps me hide some mistakes. So it's a nice little comfort. Okay, I've got her hair in braids, so we can see an ear. So we'll go ahead and draw this one like that. Same thing over here. And I am doing the rule of like pretty much to the eye to the nose, that kind of thing. That way it's still Oops, a little bit too many lines there, but that's okay. Again, at this size, there's only so many I can put before it starts to get muddy. I can only fix so many mistakes. All right, I've got her hair a little parted on the side, so I'm going to start right about here. Draw a piece of hair off like this. Draw another one like this off to the side. And I want it kind of back, right? Because if it's in a braid, it's kind of pulled back. That's my idea. And then parted going back. And then following our head. So if I mess up, I can go back again. So I like to do a few lines, and we'll say the hairlines if it's too low. So like that. It's a little low, so let's go a little higher. So see, I'll just call that a hairline, you know, like a line like that, you know what I mean? So you can kind of get away with inking things like that by saying, well, it's a dangerous game because you're making it permanent, a permanent dot, a permanent line, but you can also come back and hide a few things, you know? So there we go. So there, it's kind of following our hairline, and we'll just leave it like that. I want to draw more hairlines like this, but let's leave it like that and we'll do more with color. Okay, since I have her hair braided, I kind of want to braid and shackle. So I'm going to come in here and do one of these, right, for a little bit of a braid look. But then I'm going to shackle like this. So in other words, there's something holding it all together, right? Some kind of adornment that keeps it tight, right? Almost like a rubber band, but they don't have rubber bands back then, so it's just like this metal shackle thing. I'm just trying to come up with something different, is basically what it is. Then have the hair just kind of hanging out here. There, okay, so see, it's in a braid, but festooned. Alright, so again, I'm thickening my lines up. You don't have to, especially if you're working with pencil. That might look a little strange, so don't feel like you have to do that. I'm just telling you why I draw, how I draw. Alright, so we'll say some of the braids back there like this. Zigzaggedy, right? We're going to put the shackle, because she's got them on both sides. And remember, this is not set in stone. Like, you don't have to follow every single line I'm doing, because most of the time this is just a guide, an idea of like, this is how I'm doing it. You're welcome to, but don't feel that, oh, I missed that line, and what line is that? Look, basically, draw braids, draw something holding it together. That's it. That's the trick of it, you know? Don't stress out too much, and have a good time. You know, that's what it comes down to. Okay, I think I'm good with the hair. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to the big Sharpie. And I've got puffy sleeves on some kind of a dress. That's the best way I can describe it. So I'm going to say her neck is covered up by her hair, but you can see, now see how thick that is? That's what I'm talking about. That's why I wanted to kind of match how thick this is. So her arms are raised, but again, I've got puffy sleeves, so I'm just going to kind of do this down to her arms. Let's do the same thing over here. They're kind of raised up. Okay, and I'll draw her chest so you can see where we are here too. So the sleeve's going to kind of come in, wrinkle up there, go back behind that one so you can't really see as much. And then this is where her, and I thought of like some kind of like goes up to a point type kind of dress. So we're going to draw her breasts to her waist. Same thing over here to her waist. Now I'm doing some kind of like something holding it all together. So here, let me close this off, and then some kind of like wrap like around her waist And I got it kind of tied in a bow back there too, right? So again, just making us all up, like maybe we could do this and maybe we can do that. And now let me show you a little bit of detail. So, oh, and I like creases and folds because it's material, right? But this is what I was talking about. So I wanted to kind of go up like this, and then maybe it's split off like this. And again, I'm just kind of making up what a dress might look like for Cinderella. This goes around here to the side there. So this is a separate piece from this, is what I was imagining. Let me also thicken that up just a little bit so it doesn't look like the crease lines I'm about to put in. I didn't want it as thick as this line, but I didn't want it as thin as the crease lines I'm about to put in. So, again, this is a poofy, wrinkled material. So there, see, I wanted to do like, I always do that. I always accidentally draw through my edge lines. See, because it's a poofy material, I want like that. I wanna show some not stress lines, but wrinkle lines from the where it's pushed in, right? And again, that's why I wanted it separate from here, and I was trying to draw separate lines, but hey, it works. It's fine like that. Again, we're making this up so no one can tell us we're wrong. So I've got her hands in kind of strange positions, not strange, but dynamic. That's what it is. It's not just a resting hand. It's basically she's doing this with one hand, the other one is kind of like that. So this one, just, again, bear with me. So I'm gonna have her arm, man, I wish I could turn my paper. Oh well. I'm gonna have her arm coming through like this to the other side, I guess. The forearm, which is bent up. Move her arm like this to the elbow. A little thin of an arm. I could have made it a little bit bigger, but that's okay. I'll live with that. Here's the forearm to the wrist. Like that. And now, like I said, the hand is like this, so it's gonna look a little stubby here, but we're gonna come back with detail. So just bear with me with the shape, and then we're gonna come back and fix it. So many words. All right, so here's her thumb. And let me draw the other side too, so you get a feel for the shape of the hand. So that's the part, and then this is where the bends are. This is where we're gonna make all kinds of changes, okay? The pinky is a little tucked in like this. Same thing with the other fingers, tucked in. And then the index finger is sticking out. That makes sense? I know. It looks like her pinky's cut off, but just bear with me. So it's bent in like that. Same thing with these fingers. They're kind of, there's the knuckle. And so now you see how it's just kind of bent in, and so it kind of causes some stress on the hand. From where it bends, right? So we can kind of say, well, that's why it's shaped like that, you know? So if nothing else, it's just good practice in drawing a new shape of a hand, a new dynamic feature. Because you want to build up your chops, get a little bit better here and there, you know? All right, so this one's just sticking out this way. Same thing, long arm, bicep to the elbow, elbows to the forearm, up to the wrist. Now I say it's thin, but I mean it's dainty, right? We don't want a big muscular arm. And I'm not saying women don't have muscular arms, but we're going with Cinderella, who doesn't work out. You know what I mean? She's not meant to have gigantic biceps, right? So it's okay. So this hand is pretty much just like kind of doing like this. Nothing too crazy. So let me draw the thumb. I'm trying to follow my sketch and make sure I'm close to the shape. That's the downside with drawing with a big Sharpie like this. It's hard to get tiny details. And sometimes it works, sometimes, you know what? you gotta fix a few things. But I want to, the whole idea is that I want you to be able to grab what you have lying around and not have to go out and buy a whole bunch of expensive materials. If you grab a pencil, go for it. You grab a Sharpie, go for it. You know, but sometimes it's just, they're a little thick, you know. And we can only do so much with them. So I kind of have to always come back with the small Sharpie and complement with smaller lines, but also fix, you know, a few what do you call it? A few details just to keep it from getting muddy, you know. Yeah, maybe too many lines right there. Don't draw that many lines, but I like to draw hand lines just to show that it bends. You know, we've got crease and palm lines. Sometimes you don't need them. Sometimes you do. All right. Okay, so now onto the dress. Now I've got one leg out this way and the other one pivoting on this one. So her left leg is in front of everything. So I'm going to kind of follow that with the dress. So I'm going to come down here like this and do that just to show you that's the flow, right? So for the dress, it's gonna kind of wrinkle up here, kind of come in and do some stuff, and then follow her leg. Here's the knee to the shin, and that's where it's going to be over, right? So like the leg is coming through this way, but you can only see so much because of the dress. And then just kind of flow it back like this onto the other leg. So the other leg, there's the thigh, the calf, like that. Does that make sense? And then we're gonna just flow with that. So her waist is turned. So going back behind that part of the dress. And then I'll draw some more lines just to show the flow, okay? And I wanted this kind of tied back behind her with kind of a bow. So we'll just say it's something like this. This one's kind of flowing out like that too. And then maybe we'll say like there's a little bit of, because it's one long piece, so it's got to have like a string, like an edge, right? A little bit of the two ends that are tied together, so to speak. All right, let's give it a little bit of zhuzh, a little bit of sauce to kind of show the wrinkles of the material. Like I said, I like wrinkles and folds to show that material's bent and folded. We'll say you can see a little bit of the leg like that, but not too much. Subtle. It's about being subtle, right? So same thing here. We're going to kind of do one of these, just again to show that there's flow underneath. And maybe we'll do like this, just to highlight the ribbon in so many words, right? Okay, so now we're just drawing her feet. So this is her right foot, so it's pivoted towards the back to hold her up. So let's draw that at in so many words, a strange angle. So here's the heel of the shoe. Here's her ankle, coming down to the front. Back pointed that way. Right? So just imagine it's pointed back behind her, you know, going towards her back. Here's her heel of the slipper, her golden slipper, and we're going to say that is her, what do you call that, the little calf bone? Yeah, that's what that is. Okay, and then this one is her left leg pointed more at you, so it's pointed down, shoe to the toe. Here is her ankle to her heel. Again, more pointed out than anything. And let's draw the front of it here. Something like that. Don't want to go too crazy. Yeah, no, I say we leave it like that because we're going to color it gold anyway. So there, I say we take care of the rest with color. So for fairy tales, that is Cinderella. So here's how I colored it. Tell me what you think in the comments below, or show me what you did in our Discord group. Just have fun and make it your own, because remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures with How I Draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button for new videos.